Good evening, music multiverse listeners. This is Beyond Your Radio, and tonight is episode number two of That's Your Band Name. Really? This show allows our panelists, and boy, we got another new panelist today, so it's good. There's four of us. We share some band names or artist names that are either simply outrageous, too simple, not right, and how it relates to the success of their or lack thereof in the music industry. Did it suck, or maybe it was freaking awesome, but just didn't get the recognition because of that all important, the name of your band, which you're going to find out tonight. Some bands just, I don't know what they were thinking. And they even said they weren't thinking. They just picked it out of a hat. Well, maybe not out of a hat. The origin idea, of course, just quickly comes from the Rainbow Butt Monkeys out of Canada, who won a rock search. And thank God the record company said, change your band name or we're not hiring you. And they changed it to Finger 11, which obviously gave them North American success. And they're still around today at this point. So based on tonight's panel, we're going to do 3 apiece, if everybody's got 3. And we'll start with me. Then we'll go to Chef Jeff. We'll go to Alex. Then Jeff down below. Well, he's below. I don't know what everybody else is seeing this by. Each of our panelists will divulge one at a time.
We look something like the Brady Bunch right now. I kind of like
Yes. If we could get some more people, we could sing the song.
Like Hollywood Square.
We need a couple girls.
We need a couple of girls.
Jeff, just for that, Whoopi Goldberg to block.
No, it's
And what do you say, John Gutenberg?
All right, well, I'll get this started, right?
Good idea.
So, ta-da! 3 exclamation marks. So what do you call your band? I don't have a clue. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. All right, first of all, apparently they're called Chick. Not CHIC, just CHK. I did not know this until I started doing the research on this. And yes, I own 3 albums from the band. They're actually decent, pretty cool band. 9 members in the band on a good day. I think 6 is their minimum.
Sounds like Beyond Your Radio.
Yeah. The origin is Sacramento, California. This is like dance, punk, alternative. They got a lot going on. Some rock, indie, electronica too. They've been active since 1996, and they're still active today. Last year, they released records. I can't remember the name, something blue, but
I was going to go with question mark.
Well, actually, here's the funny part. So they release an album with, that's their title. And so obviously a self-titled album. Way to go. That's a good search. Try that search. You type exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. You are never going to find this band ever. Anyway, so they did a Loudon Up now. Myth Takes instead of Mistakes, make their band name. Myth Takes is actually a fine record. That was back in 2007. Then they had Strange Weather, Isn't It? And then there's an album called Thriller. And guess what shows up in the name Thriller? 3 exclamation points, 1 for the I, 2 for the L's. They've also released 4 albums since. Let It Be Blue is the new album. That's the name of it. So my first one is Chick. By the way, I want to thank and let everyone know that NPR, they're a very good music listener. They do great reviews, and they never seem to pick the common bands. So I found out about this band through NPR a long time ago. So anyway, that's my number 1.
I really wish that they would have like their name would have been 3 exclamation points, but you had to come up with that on your own, trying to come up with what the band name is by the visual.
They're almost, I think, they were ahead of their time because Prince hadn't turned himself into a symbol yet. So they might have had something going there. But maybe right now, maybe somebody should be at symbol, at symbol, at symbol.
Well, Prince turned himself into a symbol. This is 3 symbols.
There's multiple. Thank God there's not 9 exclamation points. I'll turn it over to Chef Jeff.
Howdy, howdy. So as you guys know, if you watched the last episode, that I'm trying to come up with names of bands not only are weird or strange, but that I've seen live in concert. And 2 out of my 3 I have seen live. The
Awesome.
first one is he started out as a single and then became a band, and the band became the name of Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
Taj Mahal, the creative genius behind it is Harry St. Clair Fredericks Jr. Born in 1942, he's basically blues, and a little bit of rock. The guy is awesome. He really is. He also likes to change up. He's done sounds of the Caribbean, Africa, India, Hawaii, South Pacific. He loves to mix stuff up. The guy is incredibly gifted. He can play 7 instruments almost perfectly. I've listened to at least 3 or 4 of his albums. He definitely shows you what the blues is all about. Him and Muddy Waters, to me, are the essential blues. And Taj Mahal is excellent. And if you ever have a chance to see him, yes, he's still touring. I think he's like 80, he's 83 or 84.
Wow.
I saw him in Kilo about 8 or 10 years ago, where they had to help him off the stage, but he could still sing and play the blues.
Muddy Waters is high praise.
Yeah. If you listen to the Taj Mahal album, and you'll understand it, because actually Taj Mahal was taught, or versed is a better word for it, by Muddy Waters. But he was born in New York, in Harlem, so he was in the same area of Muddy Waters for a while. But it's great if you have a chance to see him or pick up a record. You'll love it, especially if you're into the blues. Mark, it's up to you.
All right, Alex, you're next.
So a little bit of the, if you've caught on the last few episodes that I've been a part of, the hockey jerseys are starting to catch on. So I figured, why not go with something with the W for the Whalers? We'll go and stay in the W's for mine tonight. My first one is a band that, quite honestly, I know absolutely zero about, except for one song. And we actually confused it with another W tonight pre-show, thinking it would be Wham, but the singers of Everybody Have Fun Tonight, Wang Chung. This is a band, again, I didn't live through the 80s. I have zero idea what they
Most of
sounded
us were
like.
lucky to get out of the 80s.
And it's an era of music that sometimes should be voted number 1 of the decades to be left in the past. So, at least in my opinion. So I was trying to figure out, it's a band name that you never would really care to think about other than you hear the song once, who's the artist, and oh, that's weird. So meaning yellow bell in English, it is a Chinese term. It's also the first note in a Chinese classical music scale. So that's what I learned about this name upon researching. Aside from 5 top 40 hits and their greatest success being in the US as a UK band, I have no reason to believe that I would ever be thinking I would look up Wang Chung other than how humorous the name is and how much Chef Jeff in the pre-taping here has probably sang the song that I referenced at least 7 to 8 times, and every time I'm cackle laughing. hearing some karaoke here on the show. So, yeah, no, from London, England, I present Wang Chung. I can't even say it with a straight face.
No, I'm all about bands that are clever enough to make a song that has their band name in it,
Which is in the hit.
right? Bad Company, Big Country, and apparently Wang Chung. Not
And I will tell you right now, for those of you who like historical TV references, this is Pee Wee Herman's buzzword of the night, Wang Chung.
We're
All
thinking
right.
of the movie too,
Yeah.
or no?
Could be the movie as well.
I'll send it
something
down.
that plays the siren and everyone yells whenever someone says Wang Chung.
Sounds like a drinking song to me.
Everything sounds like a drinking song to you.
I'll turn it over to Jeff Young. What's your pick?
My first one is a band out of Seattle called Mookie Blaylock. Mookie Blaylock actually was a basketball player in the late 80s, early 90s for the New Jersey Nets. This band was too busy writing music to think of a good name and toured as Mookie Blaylock locally until they became Pearl Jam.
Really?
They had, I guess, on some of their equipment, somebody had left a Mookie Blaylock card, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just name that our band locally while we just get some gigs."
So did they have did they knew who he was, right?
Yeah, because it was like
Okay.
a trading card, like a basketball trading card on their equipment. So they just said, "Hey, we'll use that name."
Were there any albums made under that name or demos or what? Or they were just
I don't think so. I think they finally, when they finally started getting noticed and signed, they decided to change their name. They don't have any name, no albums, Mookie Blaylock.
okay.
far as I
Because there's actually another band that did that. Tabitha's Secret. Anybody know who that is?
I don't.
I do not.
Chef Jeff. It's Matchbox 20.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, I actually have the album. They did release an album under Tabitha's Secret.
See,
You know
now
who
I
the
only
wo-
ever want to call Pearl Jam Mookie Blaylock.
I think that's a better name than Pearl Jam.
You know
Well, they
who
knew
the
that-
Warlocks?
They knew once they started
You know-
getting popular, they couldn't use the name. They would just
Yeah.
legally,
Yeah. Well, they probably could have spelled it completely wrong and been okay, right?
Do you know
They
who
didn't
the
have to worry
Warlocks
about
are?
bad Google searches. Sorry, Chef Jeff, go.
I said, do you know who the Warlocks are?
Oh, I do know.
They got me on this one.
It wasn't the Grateful Dead, right? Okay.
Yes, it was. That was the original name, and then they found out they were in copyright infringement, and that's how they ended up with the Grateful Dead.
Well, you got it.
On
with the-
Warlocks.
like we take this for granted, right? There, if you want to find out if there's a band name out there, you just type it in the right. They couldn't do that
Back
back
then,
then. When did
no.
they form that band
Yeah,
in 64?
67.
67.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't
So,
search that shit.
Which I think brings up a fair point, though. We're forgetting what these eras are like.
Yeah,
I mean, heck, Google was hard to search. You couldn't really search until 2000.
and I guarantee you, okay, Garcia.
And I
and them, they're sit-
recommend not. I will also say though, I recommend not searching Wang Chung in the era 2000 because what could pop up on that internet is far vast.
Yes, yes. There won't be the singing might be confused as moaning. One of the things that like I'm imagining Garcia sitting around with Bob Weir, right? And they go, "What about the Warlocks? Is Tommy the lawyer? Give Tommy the lawyer a call. Hey, Tommy, yeah. Well, is there a band called the Warlocks?" Tommy's like, "I don't know." He was
Why
probably
don't you
getting,
look it up?
He's probably getting $1 an hour to be their lawyer.
And all the
I
acid
think
you
that's
can
generous.
Yeah, all the assets you get.
I think that was a bigger payment than any sort of money that lawyer ever got.
take.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you put that on your card? Lawyer for the Grateful Dead. I'm the guy that found out warlocks actually exist. And I didn't have to do any acid to find that out. All right, so I'll bring mine. Mine here is sometimes a band's name is too long. All right, and Assemble Head in Sunburst Sound. When I hear this name, and I really had, the reason this came to be is because lately psychedelic rock of old has made a resurgence into the US marketplace and especially the UK, with a lot of new psychedelic and what they'll call stoner rock. This band has that kind of feel to it. There's a little bit more garage kind of production on it. It's not as crisp. But there's plenty of reverb and those hazy harmonies, baby. So I liken this, and this is going to be funny, to Iron Butterfly, the early, well, there was only early Iron Butterflies, not late Iron Butterfly, but meets early Pearl Jam. You know, it kind of has that garage feel to it, like, you know, production wise. But that's that sensibility of how they played. It was a little bit, I think the band's tighter than the actual vocals. So they have four records. The 2005, which was just self-titled, Echinoplan. When, and this is the album I listened to, was When Sweet Sleep Returned, went from 2009, and Manzanita. And now Manzanita, it's a good solid record, better production. This is from 2012. I just think the band name was not something that was going to make them look good on a marquee. You know, somebody's grabbing letters and going, I don't have enough letters. You know, can we shorten this? Yeah, Head in Sunburst Sound, you know, or Assembled Sunburst Sound.
I feel like if any band is any good, you'll eventually accept their name.
Yes, but you know, is any band that good at the start? That's the tough part, right?
Make it a tough start.
Yeah, make it tough. Well, I guess that's a great point. That is a great point. Why make it harder? It's hard enough to become famous or be a band or be good. Why make it harder on yourself by having a name that you don't even, I don't know if you give a shit about or not.
But then why make it too short too?
Short is tough. Short takes a lot of work because there's a lot of band names in the short round.
And you're getting vague. It's like when you're creating a password. They always tell you, don't make it simple. Capitalize this, add a character here and a number. Band names, it's almost something, if you want to stand out, you got to be something that isn't vague.
And I'm just going to go a little bit in just for a second. Not making fun. We're having fun. Okay, with this. There's all kind of weird band names that I enjoy and they've had pretty good success. I think it's one of the hardest things to do to name your band. I was in a band, we had to name it. I don't think we did a good job of it, but you know, try to get 3 guys to agree on something, try to get 7, 9. You know, could you imagine Earth, Wind and Fire trying to come up with their band name? How many people are in that band? Like 36? I don't know.
Well, it's a wonder the Wu-Tang Clan even settled.
Yes. I think they just took alphabetical letters from each person and made a word. I don't know.
I mean, hey, the only experience I have in naming a band was naming my rock band with my buddies on the PS2 back in the day. So
yes.
We settled on the Final Frontier back in that era.
You wouldn't have been sued for that. I can't think of a band called the Final Frontier.
I'm impressed that no, I shouldn't take any credit for it. I had nothing to do with it. I was the guy who had to go along with it and gets made fun of for how I sang Black Hole Sun. So apparently I made the song even more depressing than it already is.
Yeah, we don't need you humming any bars yet. I'm going to turn it over to Chef Jeff. What's your next?
Okay. I don't know why I keep pulling bands that start in Canada, but I keep doing that.
It's easy to
'cause
do.
I know, especially with my
I'm
Canadian
sensing a
connection.
theme here.
Yeah. So this band was started by Nicholas Thorburn and Eldon Penner. They met in high school in 1998. And the reason they met was because Eldon figured he was nude in the 10th grade and he decided to wear a miniskirt to school, which intrigued Nick and sparked their friendship. They started playing together from then on. And then about 2 years later, they had a self-recorded album a 9-track album that they did on CD called Unicorns Are People Too. And it only produced 500 copies, but later recording producers were into it, so they changed their name or made the name the Unicorns. They've been around since 2000. Then they produced a couple albums in 2003, couple in 2004, and then they split to go on their separate collaborative ways. And then they came back in 2014 and did a couple years. Doing concerts all over Canada. And then they finally just decided to give up the ghost, and they haven't been together since. Their music is very, very dark, and with very sinister names like 3 Inches of Blood, and what was the one I really liked? I lost it here in my notes, but they did a lot of Suicide Squeeze. They did a lot of dark, sinister kind of music. It sound like, I don't know. I listened to it briefly before the show. Did about 4 albums. They're definitely quirky, definitely suicide alternative. I'll call it that. But interesting band.
It's a new genre just invented tonight. Suicide
Yes.
alternative.
There you go. Hey,
Interesting.
you listen to their couple songs, you want to commit suicide. Okay, that's just the way it is.
I'm trying. I know that they were on the list that I had.
But yeah, I'm surprised you don't know the band. I am. My Canadian connection finally fails. So
No, you finally stumped the Schwab. That's what you did.
yeah, that takes a lot. So
Yeah, I'm not. I can't. I mean, what would be hilarious is, looking back through concerts that Jeff and I might have went to, they might have opened one of these for somebody we saw. Just like, well, geez, that's a little dark. I'm just trying. Yeah, they're pretty much putting them as a just a Canadian rock band. But
they're definitely rock, absolutely, but they're not any type of classical rock. I know, more alternative, absolutely. But
I do like their band name, their album names though. 3 Inches of Blood, Unicorns Are People Too, Who Will Cut Our Hair? Doesn't sound dark.
I love how that one just gets
dark.
slid in. I love how that just gets slid in there. Unicorns are people too. And then the rest of them.
Yep. Well, that was their first that was their first album, and that was not with the full band. They cut that first album with just those 2, and then 4 other guys ended up joining them.
Yeah. Thompson comments, we all hated it like 70% of the time. We unicorns were not getting along.
I like
it's good stuff. I'm gonna go back and listen because I like that one of the guys is one of the past members was Nick Diamonds, but his middle they used him Nick Neil Diamonds.
Yeah. That's too funny. That's
It's-
too funny. Well, some of their album names are what was it? I was looking for something else. They're not who with albums. The name of their recording companies were just ridiculous.
Yeah.
I've never seen, and I lost it. I had it in my notes and I can't find it anymore.
It's all right.
So, okay,
we'll-
let's go. Let's
We'll
move
bring
it
it
on.
down to Jeff there. What do you got? Or no, it's Alex, right? Sorry.
It's Alex.
Yeah, I think
It's
it's
Alex,
I think
yeah.
it's up to me on this one.
Geez, could you imagine if we had 6 people? How bad I could screw this up?
Oh, we had 6 Jeffs.
Well, got 5.
Oh, definitely have 2 because you can rule me out, and I don't know Jeff's cooking skills down below me there either. So, so my next one is Winnetka Bowling League. It's a band name I discovered just off the single CVS, which if anyone can write a song about with CVS, the pharmacy being the title, you don't expect that to be your catch. But so this is a band again. No idea. Didn't really think to look up any more about them until I was looking for weird names with a W theme today. This is one that the name came from what it is, which thanks to Chef Jeff for explaining to me that there's a bowling league in Winnetka, California that they're an indie band out of LA. So just doing a little bit of jumping around and trying to figure out something more about them. I tried looking for albums. They're mostly all singles. They sound a lot like me in high school, and I like to hide in bathrooms at parties is the name of that one. So it was an interesting find going through and trying to get some more info on them. Where I really was kind of alarmed and in a way that I was surprised and didn't know much what to expect here, trying to figure more out about them. So they have an EDM background. Their lead singer is Matthew Coma. Did not realize he's famous for earlier this month getting banned from Twitter for impersonating Gwyneth Paltrow. Complete. This is all stuff I've learned in the last 2 hours before the show, trying to figure out more about this band. He's collaborated with names I know: Afrojack, Tiesto, Ryan Tedder from One Republic. Has a pretty decent solo career in that regard. Someone who's been as big as to support Ellie Goulding and Charlie XCX on a European tour. Someone who co-wrote and co-produced the single "Change Your Mind" by Keith Urban in the country realm. Things like that I didn't expect. Produced several tracks for Shania Twain's 5th album Now. Worked with Britney Spears on her album Glory. So things like that was not expecting. And to tie it all together, he's a stepfather to Hillary Duff's son. And to tie it all together, the son is from former ice hockey player Mike Comrie. So bringing it back full circle to the sweater, I got Winnetka Bowling League tonight.
Doesn't it sound like it shouldn't be in California? Like it should be in like Vancouver, British Columbia somewhere? Or
No,
No,
north
it
of
sounds
the
more
frontier?
like Iowa. Winnetka, Iowa sounds like a place that you would, or Winnetka, Nebraska, like just staying on the generic blandness that it is to it. And where else would you think to find a bowling
Well-
league either? So
Tell us, Jeff.
Winnetka, Winnetka, California. I lived in for about 6 years. I went to Winnetka High School and got kicked out. One of my first kickouts, and they are home. I don't know if you guys know of In-N-Out Hamburger.
Yeah.
Winnetka, California is the birthplace of the first one.
Ah.
But Winnetka Bowling League, there's a huge bowling alley. I used to have a bowling league there, and I just read some of the bios and the guys, and half of them from the San Fernando Valley, so that doesn't surprise me at all.
things that I did not expect tonight is learning
Me
how
either.
much Winnetka Bowling League could turn into the solo work of a guy that I did not realize had worked with that many people. So
Yeah.
one of the more awesome finds for me was researching Winnetka Bowling League.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the rest of that. I'll probably listen to some too.
I thought the album cover for the CVS single was interesting. It's just a generic convenience store wall, ping pong balls hung on one part and a bunch of other goods hung on the other.
Yeah, you
So,
kind of like, I don't know, when I get to like an EP that says cloudy with a chance of sun, I'm not interested. I'm out, right? Like you're writing songs about, I don't know. I need a hook, and that's not a good hook. But now that you're giving me some stuff here, the Winnetka Bowling League thing it's an interesting name. It's catchy.
well, and I'll say this too, like Cloudy with a Chance of Sun reminds me of, like I talked about in an earlier episode, one of my favorite bands in what was in my year, which is the Wombats. You know, that sounds like a very it sounds lyrically along their lines of the uncommon phrasing.
I guess I'm looking for cloudy with a chance of assholes. Then I'm interested, you know, I'll turn it over to Jeff. It's what he's got for his second.
You okay, buddy?
Yeah. You okay?
Hey, so I picked the Polka Tulk Blues Band. They toured early in their career in England and had to change their name because they were getting confused with other bands.
What?
So they changed their name to Black Sabbath.
Oh, I see where you are today. Damn.
He's on it today.
He is.
Wow.
Heard.
Is there any
Nailing
other
the show's
backstory that I
theme
need
for
to be
your
aware?
first
I mean,
go.
I know that you're a more Black Sabbath expert than I am, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to that. I just thought it was interesting that they had because you know they do have some of that bluesy, jazzy.
Well, they're
tones to
blues.
them.
They're a hard blues band. There's no question. That's their birthplaces. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. I should have known that, I guess. But I was late to Black Sabbath. Very late. Very late. I was late to.
I was even later.
Huh? Oh yeah.
I was even later.
Hell, Ozzy's even
Changed
later.
their name in 1969, so that's okay.
Yeah.
I knew Ozzy Osbourne solo stuff before I knew Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Chef Jeff, did you see Sabbath?
7 times.
7 times. Because
Yeah,
you couldn't see him 6 times because that's devilish. You had to go 7.
Yeah, I had to go to 7. And the seventh one was in their later years in Las Vegas. I saw him in Las Vegas. That was weird. It was a weird
Saw him
place.
once. Saw Ozzy a couple times.
With you, Jeff, how many Chef Jeff, what did you see them in different incarnate like with a different singer or
Yeah, Ozzy and the other guy, which I cannot remember his name right now.
Rodney Dio?
Yeah.
Okay.
I might have seen them at all their phases. I'm trying to think. The first time I saw him was on my birthday, January 1st in 1970. Saw him at the Fillmore in San Francisco.
Oh God. Fillmore.
Yeah, I saw him. The Tubes opened up for them.
Reminding me of something.
I'd also like to thank Jeff for making me now think of Ozzy Osbourne singing over polka music.
Yeah.
I have that effect on people.
Oh no, I was going.
No, the other Jeff.
Bringing up the name.
Oh, we have.
So if they were getting confused with other bands, I can't even imagine that they were in the wrong pool hall.
The other band must have been more popular at the time, right?
Really?
Because why else would you change it, right?
I know.
It's
So I
popular
can't
band.
imagine other bands that had polka tolka around their names were singing the same type of music either. They're probably like, and who are these guys?
What the hell's a tulk?
Yeah, no, change your name.
What the hell's a tulk? Sounds like a extra character in Star Wars.
Could be. Oh, on another note, I've just got a flash here because I looked at a page. So when the Winnetka Bowling League is still playing, and they're doing a tour starting tomorrow of Southern California.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
You too can go see them.
Well, no,
I don't know,
this sounds more like
maybe
your-
they
this
weren't
sounds more
touring
like
until they
your
just
time
found out
range.
we were talking about them. Now they're touring. Because we
More like
popped
your time zone, Chef Jeff. You might have to go take the trip for us and take the ferry past Alcatraz.
No, they're playing in Santa Barbara. Yeah, Santa Barbara.
Oh, that's a different crowd.
Yeah, Southern California. Yeah, Alcatraz is in Northern
Different.
California, not Southern California.
Yeah.
I would never know.
Let's
I've
see.
never
Oh,
even
it's
entered
back
the
to
state of
me, isn't it?
California.
Right? Back
Yep.
to me. So, my next one is another example of just I have no idea. The name of the band is Does It Offend You? Yeah. Is it yes? Sorry, I put yes. It's yeah. See, I don't even have it right on the screen. So it's
Now
Does It
they're
Offend You?
offended.
Yeah. Okay. So they were named from a quotable line. So here's this band sitting around trying to come up with a name, and I think they didn't even care. I think the line in it says, "We just turned on the TV, and it just so happened to be on the British version of The Office." And the line from Rick Gervais was, "Does my drinking offend you?" Yeah. And they decided their band name was going to be Does It Offend You? Yeah. So who are they? They're definitely a British band that kind of plays on the line of Prodigy. Maybe a little bit less attackish, I would call it, less attack kind of rock with electronica and stuff. They have
It's
toured with
so-
Prodigy. Say again?
It's so obvious. It's so obvious it's the Police.
Hey, I did not do this research that you did, man. You came around with some stuff. I can't wait to see your third one. It's probably going to be the original name of Madonna.
No,
So-
it's Sting.
Sting, yeah. Actually, they were brother and sister. I don't know.
No, that's Stung.
Yeah. So, in 2008, their first album was called "You Have No Idea What You're Getting Yourself Into." So not only did they have this "Does It Offend You?" Yeah, they've got this "You Have No Idea What You're Getting Yourself Into." So there's really no room on
Phenomenal
the album for
branding.
any artwork.
No,
the
they
name of the
can't put it
band-
on. They can't put it on the spine of a CD.
No, doesn't fit.
Is the band name I Know You Did Last Summer?
No, it's not. Okay, so hang on. See, now you're ahead of me. See, this is why you can't be on the show, because you're just like me.
We finally met his match.
Oh God, he's trying to beat me to the punch, this son of a bitch. So then 2011, they decide, should we shorten the album cover name? Sure, why not? Don't Say We Didn't Warn You. And then they kind of have broken up, but are they back together? Because they just announced they have an album called We Do Our Own Stunts, but we're not quite sure. So does it offend you? Yeah.
Every
Why didn't
album
they call
title should
themselves something different, like the Yeah Offensive? Or something.
No, but like I like the idea of like every album title and it has to go with their band name in a sentence. So like, don't say we didn't warn you, but does it offend you? Yeah.
Actually, no, okay, I'm good with that. Yeah. Does it offend you? Yeah. And so does your mother. That's the name of the album.
Yeah, and so does your mother is the album name. Yeah.
I like it.
Put it
I
together.
actually
Let's
enjoyed
be creative.
the records. They were all pretty good stuff. There's some throwaway tracks here and there, but not bad. We can't lose Chef Jeff. He's supposed to be next.
I'm not. You haven't lost me. Hang on.
Oh, he turned his camera off. He's Wang Chunging.
Wang Chung. There I am. I come and go.
There it is.
I don't know
We're
why
back to the
I don't
Wang
know
Chung.
why it turned my camera went off.
He's just trying to throw me off and put himself at the bottom now.
Probably something like that.
Huge
I can't figure out
juxtaposition.
how to come back.
Uh-oh.
I'm God.
We just need your camera. Just need your face.
Well, I'm trying. It's got
Keep
all
showing
these
So
stupid.
Mark's first band. It is.
Everybody have fun.
All right,
We
if
needed
he's
somebody
turning,
to sing
if
the
he's
song.
turning off his camera, we're all turning off our camera.
Oh, I can't turn.
The audio only version.
Yes.
I can't seem to get myself back here.
Gotta be a button.
I am stuck in some kind of conundrum.
Well, the good part is you're still vocal. We can still hear you. So, I'll do your, go ahead. You can,
Next issue.
oh, no.
Uh,
All right. So we'll go to you, Mr. Jeff, who's still with us.
Well,
went right over me.
Yep. I'll go to Jeff.
trying
and then we'll
to
go
figure
you.
out if I want to pick.
Ah.
Trying to figure out if I want to pick the Young Aborigines or Rat Salad. I guess I'll go with
Good.
Young Aborigines.
Okay.
And that was just the first. No, I'm going to go with Rat Salad.
Okay.
Rat
Rat salad. Because I knew the other one.
Okay.
It was the police.
Yeah. Rat Salad, which was what it was the first touring name of Van Halen.
So
That one
Story-
doesn't surprise me.
storyline on that or no?
I don't really have a good storyline on that. I just picked it because I grew up a big Van Halen fan, so
Yeah.
that's why.
I will say, if we had to name a victor of today and nailing the concept of this for their first go round, I got to give it to Jeff. Like that, I can't find original names of people, and you went 3 for 3. Like I'm the guy who's batting cleanup, grounding into the double play, and you're on first every time.
Well, I just pick bands that really don't have albums. You guys all have bands that have albums, but,
But
They-
Oh, you have
it
bands
does-
that have albums. You have
but it
bands
does
that have
prove the
Grammys.
point. It does prove the point that maybe the first inclination in your head isn't the best, right? You maybe you ought to think about it a little bit more, right? Maybe you don't call your band, Harry something, Jeff
Yeah,
Greg Johnson. We don't even have audio on you now, or do we?
Bueller.
Check.
Can you hear me?
Sibilance.
Can you
Yes,
hear
we can
me?
hear
there
you.
we go. There, he's alive.
I'm having problem. I got this weird stuff on my screen. I can't get it off, and it's like it just won't let me sign back on.
You're Wang
You'll need a-
Chung.
You'll need
I
a
told him not to
that.
Google Wang Chung.
He Googled Wang Chung. Now he's
That's it.
screwed.
Screwed it up.
He
So
did it.
I have to be incognito today.
That's okay.
So-
We'll let you.
Let's
I
do it
have
for your
your.
third one.
I have your.
Okay.
Ready?
I am ready. I got to get back to my notes, but it's beside the point. Okay. So, yeah, I'm ready. Okay. So this is an exception to my rule. I have not seen this band. I just saw the name the other day on a YouTube, and I thought it was funny looking, funny smelling. It was just weird. So Toad the Wet Sprocket. It's an alternative band that came out of Santa Barbara, California in '86. I listened to them a bit. They seem like they're like maybe a pop band. That's the best I can get from it. I take
The
it
name
there are no
songs. They had a couple
I'm
of
sorry?
songs on the radio, but I don't remember what they were.
yeah. They definitely have some interesting songs and stuff. None of them I really am too familiar. Some sound like something I probably heard before on the radio, but nothing really. I just liked the band's name, so it was really a short and sweet on that one.
Well, Mark reached into his pile of 12 CDs that he owns in
Yeah,
total,
so I gotta
and seemed to find.
There's Coil. There's what was this
Welcome
called?
to Sprockets.
Dulcinea.
See, I can't wait to create their cover band, Frog the Dry Sprocket.
I actually had their latest, which was they had an acoustic dance party EP. So yeah, they were pretty much 90s. They sort of stayed out of the grunge issue that was, grunge was pretty big. They kind of found a niche that was good for them. Yeah, I never got to see them. They came around quite a bit, but there's a
They're
little
on
more
tour,
pop.
right? They
Say
are
again?
on tour right now. They are
Yeah,
on
they
tour
do.
right
Yep,
now.
they had a record year before last, maybe.
Look,
Yeah,
there
I remember you bringing this up. Yep.
They're doing Buffalo Thunder Resort Casino in Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Yeah, playing at a
Yeah,
phone
they have-
booth near you.
Yeah, pretty much. It's all really small theater.
Funny enough, they came
Oh.
up in a recommended for me in YouTube music for me.
Well, that would
this
be because
week.
of your wombat, I would think.
Potentially correct.
Yeah.
it's because you listen to the band Hartford Whalers.
Yeah, but they're doing everything around New York, but they're not playing in New York. So hey,
Yeah. I don't blame
Hey,
them.
Hartford Whalers is what the Dropkick
Oh, wait.
Murphys were first called.
actually they are
Nice.
playing in New York, but I can't pronounce it. Canandaiqua, New York.
Pandaqua?
And I was gonna think you were
Yes.
saying Cheektowaga.
Cheek to Vegas?
Canandaiqua, New
I think
York.
that's the name of the federal prison there.
They're playing at they're playing at Lincoln Hill Farm.
Why can't that just be the name of the
Ladies
city?
and gentlemen, our full prison tour. And who's on it? Wang Chung and Toad the Wet Sprocket.
I have to find out where this place is now. So I'm
All right, I'm
Wait.
gonna let Alex close us off tonight.
Well, I'm gonna
What
go
is
with
it,
one
Alex?
that. So we are gonna go with a band that, as a child, heard a ton of. Now, when I hear them, I only think that they are. Whoa! Remember this song from 10 years ago? Now 20. Wolfmother. So staying in the W theme tonight. The band from Australia, headed by Andrew Stockdale. Someone that I did not realize until I think I didn't know his name until I heard Slashes by the Sword. And he was featured on there working with him when Slash was doing some solo stuff. And I knew the band before that, but didn't know the singer much until then. But really good band. A lot of times they'll come up on shuffle and it gives you that remember when aura. They're on my soundtrack kick that I like to pull music from some old past video games, some old Maddens, some old NHLs and MLBs and things like that. So
Yeah, they did make those lists.
The Hangover
They
movies.
did.
What was that, Jeff?
They're in the Hangover movies. Wolfmother.
Yeah,
music was in them or they were in them.
Music.
music.
No, I was gonna say. I was like,
I mean,
ooh.
I have Cosmic Egg and Vicious,
self-
right? Vicious? Does that sound right?
Victorious.
Okay. I had a V.
So they had 6. They had a self-titled in 05, Cosmic Egg in 09, New Crown in 2014, Victorious in 2016, Rock and Roll Baby in 2019, and Rock Out in 2021.
Yeah, I listened to Rock Out. That was pretty good. Pretty good. That guy's he's a different egg, that's for sure. The music is wildly eclectic and mixes a lot of genres in and out.
And their self-titled was arguably the biggest one, but they definitely had a distinct voice, and they gave you that mid 2000s. There's that high-pitched vocalist who can just belt it, and he was one of those guys. So this is a band that, again, I like digging back into their past. They're fun. They're well known. Everyone knows the opening riff to Joker and the Thief. But getting back to the initial point of the show, I wonder if the name is the reason they never really caught on truly. Because I think they're a decent band that no one really. I don't know if it's just, what's the name of these guys? They're kind of good. Wolfmother. I don't know if I'm going to go back to that one. So I don't quite know if that would have contributed to success outside of a couple one and dones that people know them for. I know a few songs, but there's only a few that you can know by name. So I do think they could have been more popular than what they were, but definitely got to raise a question to the band name on this one.
Okay, well, let me thank my panelists, of course, Alex, Chef Jeff, who obviously lost audio and video this time now, and Jeff Young for joining us for the first time today. I appreciate you hauling ass to get home and get on with us.
Cheers.
Zoom in the Zoom.
It's more fun when there's more of us, and especially the more outrageous we get. Hopefully this has exposed some music. It's exposed some music for me that I wasn't aware of, and band names. And we'll do this again in 2 weeks with whole new bag of titles for bands. We're on the web at www.beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hell, I used to have a Pinterest account, but I closed that. Like, comment, subscribe. Our Patreon will be coming soon enough. More shows, of course. This week we're starting a new one on Thursday in a couple of days. It's called Same But Different, and we're going to be talking about darkness as our word, and going from there. Music Bites from Chef Jeff will be coming next week. His new one, he's doing it on Eat a Peach by the Allman Brothers. Also, album review Saturday. I think I'm going to be putting in a band called Margarita Witch Cult. Not a bad band. Unknown Sunday
I think
coming
that
as
should have
well.
been on this show.
There's plenty of those. Well, thank you again, everybody, and happy listening.